Shall we play a game?
There we go. What is up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages, welcome back to Studio C. It's been a hot minute. It's been a little bit since we were in here. Been a couple of weeks since Matt and I were at this end of the table playing some Star Wars Unlimited, and gosh, a lot has changed since then because a new expansion is here. Yesterday, Friday the 12th, was the release day for the new expansion of Star Wars Unlimited called Shadows of the Galaxy. This set is kind of thematically focused around the seedy underbelly of the Star Wars universe. There's a lot of unsavory characters in here, the Hondo Onaka's and Jabba the Hutt's, right, of the Star Wars universe. But there's a lot of fun stuff in this set. I've been playing into some pre-releases, right? I've now done 3 different pre-releases. Fantasy Flight does a really, really awesome system where I can turn this. The music's not coming through on the stream, so let me turn that off. Fantasy Flight does a really awesome system where they have designed pre-release kits, and you're paying for a sealed kit. 6 packs is enough to build a sealed deck. You get 6 packs. You get a little clamshell box made out of cardboard, right? Like this, little guy like this. And some tokens, right? And usually a couple of exclusive pre-release promo cards. In this case, promo versions of 2 of the leaders in the set, the leaders that come in the starter deck, which is Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian, Din Djarin. And you build a deck, and I've had a tremendous amount of fun doing that. The first pre-release I went to, I played Spaz with the resub, thank you kindly. I played Lando, the new Lando. Well, there's only the one Lando right now. It's the version of Lando is from the Solo film, right? So the art and everything is done up to look like Donald Glover's character and how he's dressed in that film. We'll run across one over the course of the evening. Trust me, I'll show him to you. I played him in the first pre-release. I lost one game. I went 2-1 in that one. I lost to a really, really good Gar Saxon deck. If you've watched Clone Wars, you know who Gar Saxon is. In the second pre-release down the south side of town, this was last Sunday, right before the hurricane got here, I played Bossk, one of the more infamous bounty hunters. You see him on the bridge of Darth Vader's flagship in The Empire Strikes Back. He's a Trando, right? The little lizard, big, long-snouted, lizard-nose-looking guy. So he's one of the new bounty hunters in the set. There's quite a few bounty hunters in this set. And that deck, Bounties, is one of the new mechanics in the set. And I played kind of a bounty-focused deck in red and yellow. Had a tremendous amount of fun with that. I went 3-0. And then just last night, I was able to sneak into the pre-release at the shop closest to me over here. The TO, God bless him, took pity on me. He had signed up his daughter to come play. And apparently, because it was a Friday night or because it was so later in the week or whatever, she decided against it. And so he offered the spot to me, and I went, yes, please. And it turned out to be that was very fortuitous. I went and I ended up playing Gar Saxon myself that night. I pulled a Supreme Leader Snoke out of one of my packs, which is one of the legendaries in the set. And that turned out to be an amazing bomb card in sealed deck. It basically won me the 3rd game that I played. I went 3-0 again. And at the end of the night, because now the set had officially released, they had boxes of product on the shelf. They were limiting you to how many packs you could buy. So I walked up and bought 6 packs. And lo and behold, I pulled this. I pulled a Showcase Rey, just out of like 6 random packs, which I thought was pretty friggin' awesome. This is Hero Blue is one of those colors that I keep looking at going, there's something here, right? I never really messed with it in set 1. I really kind of wanted to give Chirrut a try, and I never got there. And I keep looking at Rey going, man, maybe that's the card. Maybe that's the card that I finally go and pick up and play Hero Blue. I haven't done it yet. I had at least 2 immediate offers in the room to buy this card. They were like, I'll buy that from you. And I was kind of like, let me open the rest of my stuff, right? And I'll get back to you. So that's the plan. Tonight this is super chill, guys. I'm not gonna do anything fancy. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna open cards, we're gonna talk about the game, and that's gonna be the end of it. One of the things, if you've watched other box opening videos or content on YouTube or Twitch, you know that Fantasy Flight has a sorting problem. Once you get about 3 to 4 packs in, certainly once you find one of the first legendaries in a box, you can generally predict the other legendaries in the box with about 85% accuracy. It shouldn't be that consistent, but it is. These 3 boxes did not remotely come from the same case. 2 of them came from a vendor on the other side of town. 1 of them came from my local shop about 20 minutes away. Good evening, Gabe. I actually don't even remember which box is which anymore. But I know at least 2 of them probably came from the same case. I'm just showing to, I don't know which 2 anymore. And 1 of them 100% did not come from the same case. So we're going to see how this goes. But we're just gonna start plugging away here. I've been salivating at the chance to get this done. I've been wanting to get in here, and I just kind of threw this stream together. I played BattleTech most of the day, and then one of my buddies who stayed and played BattleTech with me wanted to learn this, and so I pulled my starter decks off the wall, and we played. We played 2 We played 2 games, and I taught him the basic mechanics of this. One of my buddies that I used to play the old Decipher Star Wars CCG with. Yeah, you go right ahead, Gabe. I'll send those points back later. And so I almost didn't do this stream. I was kind of like, man, I'm tired. You know what? I'll do it tomorrow. But then I thought, no, I'll grab a couple of cameras. I'll throw it together. It doesn't have to look amazing. Let's just get in here and crack packs. I really want to get these open so I can start sorting through things, building some decks, finishing up the set binder, which is over here, that kind of thing, and then start figuring out what holes in my set that I have, because I'm going to, by Tuesday night, I'm going to be back out at the local shop with hopefully with stuff to trade, make some deals and stuff. Okay, Gabe, no worries. So anyways, we're just going to get going. I got to lean way out here for you guys to see what I'm actually pulling here. This is Kira. This is one of the new leaders in the set from the Solo film. I actually don't have one of these yet, so that's kind of a nice pull. That's nice to see. Haven't picked one of those up along the way. I'll just slide the bases over here. Now, what I'll probably do, what I like to do, is sort commons by color, just for the sake of getting them organized. I tend to group my stuff so that I can build decks easily. And so, actually, you know what I'm going to do? What I was doing last time, I was putting rares out here where they could be seen. I was putting kind of hyperspaces and foils over here. And then the rest was just kind of out here where it could be looked at. So we'll do that. I'll just shove all the commons off to the side here. Nobody's really here to see commons and uncommons anyway. Most of us, by the time we're done opening stuff. So we got a Maz and a foil Wookiee. Shove him off to the side. You guys don't need all that mess. I really will too, Vladeshi. The old Decipher game, I was having this conversation with my friend earlier. We used to play, like I was saying, and the Decipher game, so many good memories. So many good memories. The game was not perfect. In fact, frankly, the game had a lot of flaws. But the art was amazing for the time. I mean, 30 years ago, they were putting photorealistic, like film screen caps onto CCG cards, and they looked so good. And, you know, very few people have kind of done that since, right? Now, just for the sake of, since I pulled one, just for the sake of showing it to you, I'm going to show you, this is like the regular common Rey, like her art, right? Versus that beautiful showcase. So there's just something about the full art, like it's obviously the same theme, right? You know, her with the lightsaber in the forest, but just the full art, this one is almost, it's just much more realistic looking. I'm a huge fan. I love this showcase. I don't know, I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to sell it, but it's going to be hard to part with it. I'm not looking forward to that. It was incredibly complicated. You're not wrong. Like, the old Decipher CCG was far too complicated for its own good for a CCG. I mean, they had to rewrite large chunks of the rules on at least 2 occasions. All right, so we have Zorii Bliss. I needed one of those. This is like, I've opened about 3/4 of a box, but in different times because of the pre-release. Actually, technically, I've opened a full box because I've done 3 pre-releases and then the 6 packs I bought last night. I don't think it was quite that extensive, Ladeshi, but it was, by the time I got done with Special Edition, the Special Edition rulebook was fairly extensive because they had added so many rules. They'd had to rewrite the site location rules a couple of times. You had different rules for Hoth sites, right? The shielded sites on Hoth had completely different rules than like most sites in the game. It was bizarre. So we've got a Dr. Aphra, one of the new leaders in the set. One of the leaders that I was actually really hoping would turn out to be good, and so far the general consensus is not so much, which makes me very, very sad. First Light. Ooh, that's okay. That's odd. That's a fun pack. That's a double First Light pack. One regular, one foil. It's nice when you can get these double rare packs. I do like that. It's weird to get the same card at the same time. So Gabe, here's the thing. I wouldn't laminate it, right? Like if I was to go that route, there have been people in the community that what they've been doing with their fancy, I'll come back to that in a minute, with their showcases is they send them off to get graded, right? Like Pokemon cards or comic books, and then they're permanently like encased in a hard shell with like a rating, like obviously you want like the 10-0 rating, which is the card is flawless. But the trick is they're difficult to play in that case because something like this, right? Like if this is my leader, the case is like another inch plus all the way around. It takes up a ton of table space, so it's a little impractical. Got a Migs, love that. Foil Crosshair. I don't think I would do that, right? To me, first of all, I will probably sell it because I can use it to fund other things. You guys know that I've been working on streaming like a tournament setup for this game, right? You've seen the work that I've done in here, my local play stuff. And I want to continue to do that, but in order for that to work, I think I'm going to need better cameras. I'm not happy with my overhead camera right now. Here's our first legendary, which is the card I'm very excited to get. That is Kylo's TIE Silencer. Stoked for that one. This is one of the new villain red cards in the set. I am, like I said, I'm excited for this one because Kylo is one of the first decks that I want to build, and I almost think you can build the deck without 3 of these, but like, why would you want to? It's one of those like you really should, right? We'll start laying on our hyperspaces. This pack's actually got 3 in it. Haven't seen 1 until now, and then now magically, bam, got 3 of them. Oh yeah. Now let's see, with the TIE Silencer in this box, if memory serves, I forget what other legendary should be in here. It's a Hyperspace Boba, Hyperspace New Leader Boba. We have already had the villain version of Boba. This one is the hero version of Boba from Book of Boba Fett. A foil twin pod cloud. Man, that is shiny. Woo! Blinding. We'll put that one out here. It's hyperspace. That's fun. Oh, okay, that's kind of fun. In the same pack. the hyperspace and the hyperfoil version. The hyperspace version of that is pretty. I like that. I've been trying to collect hyperspace versions of, there's me a tech, hyperspace versions of all the starships. I really like having the space units in the hyperspace treatment. I think they look really, really awesome. First, Bo-Katan coming in here. Bo-Katan is one of the new leaders. She's kind of, again, the general consensus on her is kind of meh. At the same time, I've got a deck drawn up. I want to give her a shot because I think there's something there. All right, so pull these commons out of the way. We do have a double rare pack, which is nice. I have a hyperspace Boba Fett's armor, and then my first unrefusable offer. I like getting the double rare packs, especially when you're trying to fill out that first set, right? There is a hyperspace Bo-Katan, so literally like back to back. Gone hyperspace rare leader. Choose sides. Ooh, that foil Phantom. The hyper foil of the new TIE Phantom card should look amazing. I'll pull a regular one of these at some point and show it to you. The art is stunning. Like it's hard to tell on camera, right? But like this is all purple around it. Like it's like this purple nebula thing. Oh, it's so like purple asteroid field. It's gorgeous. The card is beautiful. I can't wait to see a hyper foil of it. Which one, Vladeshi? Talking about this one, the one in the previous pack. House Cast Soldier, a little common red unit there. So one of the themes of the set is Mandalorians. There are a lot of Mandalorians in the set on both sides, for both hero and villain, which is kind of cool. All right, so my first Cad Bane, which is one of the common leaders. I like that. I'm looking forward to trying Cad. We've got a hyperspace unit over here. I'll keep him here, actually. And then what's our rare? Vambrace Flamethrower. I had some people pull these in sealed that swore by them. They were like, oh, the card is so good. I have not actually played with one yet. There's a blue Vambrace card that's a common. I ended up playing with that one yesterday in the pre-release. Cad again, Jabba's Palace. What do we got back here? Dr. Pershing. And another rare, foil rare. That's a Zori Bliss. It's always nice to get foil rares when you're building a set. When you're trying to get a play set going, you don't mind the foil rares because they just help you along. Just that much. It's just one less regular rare you got to pull. Gar Saxon. What's our Hyperspace Cassian. That's kind of pretty. Cassian has a unit now. Not just the leader. Rare is the assault cruiser there. In the previous set, Cassian was only available as a leader. Now he has actually a unit card to go with him as well. Ooh. So we've got another double rare pack here. I've got a Hyperspace Heroic Resolve. That's actually a pretty card. This is actually cool because this is kind of coming from the same scene that Rey's artwork is in, right? That lightsaber fight in the forest. A rare of whoever this dude is. Kregon Gore. Random foil. I've had 3 double rare packs in this box so far. Loving it. Loving it. I've only got 3 boxes. Last time I started with 4, and I ended up trading for... If you guys remember, I pulled 3 showcases out of set 1. I pulled Sabine, which I still have. I pulled Chewbacca, which I traded for my 5th box of the original set. And then I pulled, out of that box, I pulled a Hera that I sold. It's a Hyperspace Vigilant Pursuit Craft. Bazine, one of the best villain yellow cards in the set. So many, like Villain Yellow is just so stupidly strong. There's so many good cards in Villain Yellow. It's kind of crazy. Another Fennec. Stolen Landspeeder. That's a card that every time I read it, my head hurts. The way the mechanics on that card work, it's like, say that again? It's so odd. It's got the strangest bounty. New leader Han, he's a common. A Hyperspace Remote Village. Back here we have a Wrecker. Love that. That gives me 2 now. I pulled one of my pre-releases. Glad to be working on a play set of those guys. I haven't seen Bad Batch. I still gotta finish Clone Wars. I'm such an uncultured Star Wars heathen. Like, as much as I love the property, I've just never made the time to sit through all of Clone Wars because like I said, I'm just uncultured swine. There's me a Rey. It's a nice legendary. First one of those, actually. I've got a Kylo, the Kylo unit. I did pull one of the Kylo units in one of my pre-releases. Silencer, Rey. There's something else in this box. I forget what it was. Hyperspace Rey. Maz Kanata's Castle. Well, I mean, that doesn't shock me, Vladeshi. That's fairly typical, right? I mean, even a show like Andor, as good as it is not flawless. General Rykian. I'm actually excited for that card. I have some ideas and thoughts about where Green Rebel can go now in a post-set 1 world, and I think he's actually a pretty big part of that. But I mean, that's not really shocking that Clone Wars has its ups and downs. Kira unit, another card that exists on both sides of the aisle. Kira's leader is a villain. Kira's unit is a hero. Go figure. got to keep looking for one of those ties. Probably, what if I've pulled one by now? To go look. Bosk. Survivor's Gauntlet. This is one of those junk rares because you get one in the starter decks, so like they're going to be worth pennies on the dollar. There's the Lurking Phantom. Okay, so earlier we looked at the foil Phantom. This is what the base art on the card looks like. Here's the foil version, right? It's a little harder to tell because of in the light, the way the cameras don't want to pick it up. But the hyper foil of that card should look amazing. Yeah, the art on this one is one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites in the set. And it's definitely another card that I think is impressive because it's driving several different new deck ideas that I've seen floating around that I'm looking forward to trying. You know, one of the things about set 1 was that nobody really had enough space units to build like a very space-heavy deck or like really focus on space or even go all space, but now you can. Hyperfoil Enfys Nest. It's kind of pretty. Imprisoned. Hyperspace Trando, and a bunch of stuff. But now, with 2 sets under our belts, I think we're getting to where you actually could theoretically build a proper all-spacer or very heavy space deck if you wanted. And I'm looking forward to trying now. This is sexy. 2 silencers in 1 box. This is amazingly good for me because this is 100% one of the first decks I want to build is Kylo Red. And I pulled a Kylo in my pre-release last night. Now in this 1 box, I've got 2 silencers. And when I really need 3, I need a playset. So I'm 2/3 of the way there. That is very sexy. Very, very glad for that. Still only have 2 legendaries out of this box so far, foil notwithstanding. The foils I don't count because they're a little more random than the regular ones are. Palpatine's Return. All right, 2 left. 2 left in the box. Please be a legendary. Please, one of you be a legendary. Excellent. DJ, I'll take it. I will take it. Okay, so we hit the typical box has at least 3 legendaries in it. 3 regular, Joe Blow original plain legendaries. And we've hit that quota now with our extra coming in the foil slot. Most commonly, if you get a 4th in a box, it's either a foil or a hyperspace, or possibly even a hyperfoil, which still goes in the foil slot, of a legendary card. Give in to your anger. I think I've got like 2 of these guys, all right? Hyperfoil Discerning Veterans. Okay, there we go. Box 1. I am not unhappy with this. Now, I haven't pulled any of the big chase cards yet, which at the moment are basically Poe and Krayt Dragon. DJ, Rey, Kylo, a lot of the other legendaries are way below those. Like Poe and the Krayt Dragon are the ones that everybody bloody wants, like right now. They want a playset. Leviathan they can be. It depends on the card. In the first set, probably the biggest unit, legendary unit that was in the game that was like a chase legendary was Darth Vader's unit card. On the high end, the regular plain one of those sometimes went for as much as I think about 75 or 80 bucks. You typically tended to not see them for much less than that. So far in this set, the ones that I see people chasing are Poe Dameron's unit card, because it's amazing, and it's Hero Red, and Hero Red is ridiculous. Basically, Hero Red was already really good, and it got 2 massive bomb cards in this set between Wrecker and Poe. And then the Krayt Dragon, which is just an amazing card. It's not even Hero Red, it's just red. And it's just stupidly good. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how all that shapes up. So anyway, box 1, I'm not going to complain about that. That worked out pretty well. Let's finish cleaning up here. Just Shove all this stuff over to the side. This is probably going to be a fairly short stream, guys. We're going to keep it pretty low key. Like I said, I'm gonna open some packs, and then truth be told, I will probably spend the rest of my evening in here sorting and putting stuff in binders. I'm not sure I'll do that on camera. If you guys want me to, we just want to keep hanging out and chatting, I'm happy to, but I don't know that I'm going to. We'll see. I'm not going to lie, it's been a long day. I got up early. Like I said, I played BattleTech for more than a few hours, so I'm kind of in need of a break, I think. But I wanted to get this done because tomorrow we don't have anything planned. I'm probably gonna do some laundry or something. It's like I want to just be able to sit in here and organize and build decks and stuff, so I have everything ready for Thursday. Okay, so starting off box number 2 with literally the exact same rare. That's not necessarily encouraging that we're going to get a different box. I said different. It's a rare leader. We did get a different rare. We got a Ruthlessness there. I'm being a little unfair. And then a Hyperfoil Detention Block Rescue. Okay. Oh, Leviathan. Whew, I hear you. I hear you. What's the most I've ever sold a card for? Probably the Hera, right? The showcase. So when I was opening the first set, I opened 4 boxes here on camera. In those 4 boxes, I pulled 2 showcases. I pulled a showcase Sabine, which I still have, and I pulled a showcase Chewbacca. I didn't really think I would ever play Chewbacca. And on the very first night that I went over to hang out and play with buddies on the local game store, one of the guys had like he had like an extra case or something in the trunk of his car. He goes, "I will trade you a box for that Chewbacca." Hand me a box of cards and I hand him the showcase. And I was like, okay. So I wanted more cards. I took him up on the deal. I brought that box home, and off camera, I just sat in here that night on Tuesday night and opened it and pulled another showcase. This one was Showcase Hera Syndulla. The next week, one of the guys at the same store wanted to buy. He was working on trying to end up with get a full set of showcases, and he offered me $175 for the Showcase Hera, and I took it. Looking back, I think I probably undersold on the Chewie and sold the Hera at about the right price point. The Rey that I have, if I sell that, it will probably be more than double that. So that'll probably be the most expensive thing I've ever sold if it actually comes through. We've got a Val. So already I'm seeing different rares. That's encouraging. I want to see different rares. I don't want to see the same rares. That tells me that would be like, oh yay, more sorting crap. More sorting problems. You did pretty good, Vladeshi. The only Decipher set that I think I made money on was Death Star 2. As the Decipher game got older, those last few sets, particularly starting with like, not really Endor, but like Death Star 2, and then all the Episode 1 stuff, particularly Feed Palace, that very, very last Episode 1 set that they scrambled to get it out the door before they lost the license. Those were particularly valuable sets on the secondary market, especially years later, because they had very, very short print runs. I remember I was never interested in any of the Episode 1 stuff. I kept my Decipher sets for a very, very long time. I sold my Death Star 2 set, gosh, somewhere along the way. And then somewhere along about 2017, I rebuilt it. I went into my trade binder and I had quite a few things. I bought some collections on eBay, I bought some singles, and I rebuilt the entire Death Star 2 set. And then, not horribly long ago, well, I guess at this point it's been almost 4 years now, I sold literally all of it. Every scrap of Star Wars CCG I had left in the house, I sold to a collector up in New York. And I used that money to start this project, right? To start doing things in here, right? That money, that seed money bought me the furniture and the original set of LEDs that went on this wall. And so, like, it went to a good cause, but I do sometimes think, well, yeah, I kind of miss it. Endless Legions. All right, that's good. We're getting a different set of legendaries here. Endless Legions. What else should be in this box? I don't remember. I think this one is Kylo and something else. I don't think this is the Mando box. I think there'll be a Kylo in this box, I think. I don't remember. I wouldn't mind another showcase. I'm not going to bank on it. I sort of feel like I've in my time in the game, I've pulled 4 of them already. So I feel like I've sort of used up so much of my luck to get that. Well, if you made that kind of money at 13, Vladeshi, I think you did all right. I sold off my Star Wars CCG more than 20 years after the game went out of print. So, and I didn't get nearly that much money for it. So if you got that kind of money, you did okay. Dr. E, Hyperspace Foiled Jabba's Rancor. All right, Dr. Evazan, which is a card that I need. I won't say I won the game in the pre-release last night, but my opponent played a Dr. Evazan, and I managed to kill it, collect his bounty, which his bounty is crazy, and then turn that into an amazing turn on my part, and then I won the game the next round. I don't think he was expecting me to collect the bounty. He wasn't salty about it, but he was just like, well, I didn't see that coming. Let the Wookiee win. And then what have we got here? A Hyperspace Clan Saxon Gauntlet. God, that's pretty. Oh, okay. So yeah, so Vladeshi, you probably sold pretty close to the top of the market. I mean, there were people still playing the game. The Players Committee, the Star Wars CCG Players Committee was still fairly new, but they were committed to keeping the game alive. And there were still enough people playing that the demand for those cards was there. So yeah, I think if you sold back then, I think you did pretty well. Heroic Resolve. That gives me a play set of those, which is good. I like that card. Anything else in here? No. It's what's funny to me, Vladeshi, is when I listen to, like, there's a lot of content creators in the Star Wars Unlimited space, and a non-zero amount of them are guys that I recognize from the old Decipher CCG days, Decipher Star Wars CCG days, right? And when I see the names, I'm just like, I remember that guy. Dr. Aphra Leader, another base. Anything in here? Wild Rancor as a rare. Black Sun Starfire, and then nothing else. It's funny, right? And apparently a lot of these guys, like, they never left CCGs, right? Woo, bearded. That is old school. One of the worst leaders in the set, my boy Finn. Very sad. One of the things that actually frustrates me about FFG is they've done him dirty in not one game, but 2. Finn in the original, in Star Wars Destiny, was not very good. And in this game, I didn't think it was possible. He's somehow even worse. Inspiring Mentor, Foil Echo, Hyperspace. Yeah, Hyperspace Jetpack. Kind of like that. That's kind of pretty. Good evening, Deagles. How we doing? We just sniffing the cardboard crack, baby. That's all we're doing. Oh, there we go. Crate Dragon number 1. Need that. I really want there to be a Poe in this box now. Crate and Poe should be in the same box. That would be really, really awesome if I could get a Poe in this same box. Just getting one of each would save me some hassle. It would get things moving in the right direction in terms of not only deck building, but saving me a little bit of chasing. Lom Pike. He's not very exciting. No. Oh, Xander, you don't have to apologize. Like I said, I may not even be on all that long. My goal was just to stream this, hang out for a little while, and then honestly tonight, I don't know what I'm gonna do. The baseball game's over. I may sit in here and sort cards. I may not. Oh, I missed this. This was a hunter. That's my first hunter. Another rare leader. Hyperspace. No, don't do that. Go the other way. Boop. More hyperspaces in this box than the last one. Bazine number 2. Good to see that. We like that. I love all of you guys, but never apologize for not being here. That's just not necessary. All right. Here, hyperspace. That's a pretty one. I like the art on that one. Check this guy out. Very vibrant color on that one. I like that one. Ooh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. We got a hyperspace TIE silencer. Now I have a playset. In 2 boxes, we got our playset of TIE silencers. So I have a plane, I have a foil, and now I have a hyperspace. And I love the hyperspace ships. I want to have a playset of every ship in the game in hyperspace, like if I could. Oh yeah, Deagles. I was a big player of that. Vladeshi was talking about selling the old Decipher cards that he had sold about 20, back turn of the century, right, back around 2001 or so. Which 2001, the game was actually still in print through the end of the year. They lost the license as of 31 December 2001. And if memory serves, they shoved Theed Palace out the door, which was their very, very last product, in like November or October of that year. Like they snuck it in under the wire. I won't say they were desperate. They were in a hurry to get that stuff out the door to make sure. Oh, a Snoke. So I got a Snoke in my box with a Krayt Dragon. Most of the boxes I've seen that had a dragon in it had a Poe in it. So far we're on 3 legendaries. We're on Snoke, 4 technically. Snoke, Dragon, Endless Legions, and then the Hyperspace Silencer. I still want a Poe. I'm greedy. Still want me a Poe Dameron. When I saw Poe Dameron, my first thought was, thank God, finally someone that Leader Cassian wants to play with. There's a whole lot of people that look at Poe and they want to slap him into a Sabine deck, which is fine. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I really think there's something to pairing him up with Cassian, because Poe actually gives you a reason for that card advantage, for that the card draw and the card advantage to play into your favor. That's a foil rare. Look at that. There we go. Don't really need him. I don't know that I have a use for that guy. This is box number 2. This is box number 2. I've only got one more after this. I was only able to get 3 boxes locally. I sort of misunderestimated on my pre-ordering. So things did not work out the way I would have preferred in that regard. It's a new Chewbacca unit. Chewbacca is now the only character I think that we have 3 of in the game. We have a leader and 2 units, 2 different unit Chewbaccas. It's kind of interesting. Another Wrecker. All right, so that gives me a play set of Wreckers at least. And he's a regular rare, so that's not overly shocking. But it does mean that it's one less thing I have to chase. Hyperspace Disabling Fang Fighter. I like that. Nope, nothing there. Okay. No, Xanda, I'll be fine. One of the things that the supply of the game has been a sore point, let's say, since it first started coming out, right? Because at first, I was talking to Trey about this last night. One of our locals who sells a lot of stuff. There's my 3rd Reichian, and basically he was pointing out that when the game first released, he ordered a whole bunch of product initially, and he said that probably for the first 2 weeks the game was out back in March, he could continue to order literally anything that he wanted. They were just shoving it out the door as fast as they could. He said by the 3rd or 4th week of March, they realized they were going to have a problem if they didn't slow down. He said, and that's when they started putting the brakes on things. Hyperfoil Public Enemy. Ooh. Put you over here, kind of in the way. Yes. And so set 1, finding set 1 on the shelf has been very, 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 very difficult. Boba Fett's Armor, number 2. Excellent card. What I understand what they're trying to do with this set is dole it out at a slower pace so that stores are able to continue to keep it on the shelf and well, basically to keep it on the shelf and have it available for like drafts and stuff. We were very fortunate in that one of our local stores set aside, I think, 2 or 3 cases at the very beginning So we could continue to draft the entire way that the game was out. And so we were drafting even up until like the very last week of June, right in the couple weeks before this came out, we were still doing drafts, whereas most people didn't have product to do drafts. So they're trying to fix that problem by not shipping every card they have out the door in the first 2 or 3 weeks. So to me, what that means is initially product is going to be, I won't say hard to get, but it's going to appear at a bit of a premium. And then as time goes on, because as players realize it's not going anywhere and they'll still be able to get it, that hopefully the prices will back off a little bit. Hyperspace Hansel. A lot of hyperspace leaders in this box. Not really complaining. Hyperfoil Enticing Reward. Hyperspace cards in here? No. All right, we're down to our last 2 packs. Still looking for that Poe. Let's go. Come on. Give me that Poe. I know I shouldn't complain. I'm not really complaining. I shouldn't get greedy, but I am. I'm greedy. I am greedy. Cobb Vanth. I think that's number 2. It'll be good to get a play set of those when the time comes. I'm going to need them. Hyperspace Fugitive Wookiee. Okay. Yeah, so Xanda, the packs, the stuff they've announced for packs is different. Those are promos. And they have not yet announced how they're going to handle sales and distribution. Okay, we got our foil rare for in the last thing in the pack, and it's yellow. It's a ground unit. It's Tobias Beckett. So our legendaries in this box are base legendaries, right? Snoke, Crate, and Endless Legions, and then we ended up with the Hyperspace TIE Silencer, which I am, again, not remotely upset with. Lots and lots of hyperspace cards in this pack, in this box. Yeah, Andrew, I'm inclined to agree with you. I have not watched it. That's not entirely accurate. I watched the first episode and a half, and then found out it was insulting my intelligence and couldn't handle anymore. Hello, dear.
I've seen more than he has, and it sucked.
You actually watched episodes? Mm-hmm. You really?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
I'm sorry.
But you know me. I always look at a primary source.
That's true. That's true. So Deagles, this game does not play anything remotely like the old Decipher game. About the only similarity I would say is that in the old Decipher game, you had units that deployed on the ground and units that deployed in space, and this is the same. You do have space units and ground units. Past that, the similarities are basically non-existent. They really aren't that similar at that stage. Eagle with the raid. Welcome in, everybody. How we doing? How you been, Eagle? Long time no chat. Ugh, clean up all this mess. Ugh. A lot of hyperspaces in that box. Goodness gracious. I like the hyperspace locations. I'm a big fan of the hyperspace bases and such, right? Oof. All right, I'll deal with the comments and mess later. All right, last box. Well, I've only got 3 to open, and I'm kind of like, eh. Yeah, life is good. Life is good. Shogun was excellent. Yeah, Andrew, I'm with you. I think Shogun so far is the best show of the year. Admittedly, you're talking to somebody who hasn't... I don't watch a lot of television, right? I watched Shogun. I tried The Acolyte. You know what I started the other day? I'm about 2 episodes into Foundation on Apple TV. And I got to say, so far, that show is actually not bad. I was kind of like, there's something to like here. I think I'm going to have to keep watching this. All right. Last box for the evening. Let's see how we do. Please don't be Akira. Like, I've literally started the last 2 boxes. Okay, you could be a showcase Kira. You're not. You're a Ray. But I was like, please don't be a regular Kira. I've had enough of that card for the night. Foil Outpost Constables and a Tarful. I don't think I had a Tarful. That works out okay. Well, Andrew, this is just television, right? Apple's just funding it. You know what? You know what I thought was really enjoyed the other day. I watched Tetris, the Tetris movie, on Apple TV, and was like, this was really fun. I don't know how much of it is real and how much of it is made up garbage, but it was fun. All right, we got a MiGs. Oh, and a foil rare, an assault cruiser. Yes, Xanda. So right now they haven't announced how the special promo sets are going to be available. People were asking about that on the live. They did a release day stream yesterday for this. I don't know, 6 or 8 hours, and people were asking like, hey, how are these cards going to be available? You know, are they going to be, you know, first come first serve? One. I mean, it's one per person per event, but it's like, are they going to be? Are you only going to sell 30 a day? Like, what are you going to do? And they said, we're not going to announce that right now. We'll announce it as we get closer to the event. And I was like, all right, well, fine. Okay, so there is a Kylo. So what I like about this so far, so you guys remember at the top of the stream I'm saying I got 2 boxes from one location, one local store, and 1 box from another. It looks like I got 3 completely separate boxes in terms of legendary repetitiveness, which I'm a huge fan of because it'll just make it that much easier for me to, or that much less painful for me to chase things. That's actually my second Kylo. I did pull one in a pre-release. Oh, so Deagles, when you say, ooh, so I pulled a hyperspace Jabba the Hutt, one of the new leaders. He's a rare. I don't even have a regular one yet. Hyperfoil Zuckuss. I have a Hyperfoil Forlom I pulled in one of my pre-releases. That'll look pretty. Those will look pretty together. Second Chance. Another legendary right off the bat. So Xanda, I'll ping you. We'll figure it out. Going back to Deagles, I felt like the first edition of Star Trek was not a very good game. It was not a very good game. The second edition of Star Trek that Decipher put out was an outstanding game, and it's unfortunate because like nobody played it. Regular foil Jabba's Rancor, unrefusable offer, another one of those. Let's see, leader, base, we got another hyperspace something or other. Cloud Rider, one of the better commons in the set. Second edition Star Trek CCG was one of those games that it looked good, it played mechanically way better than the original game had ever played. And so, but it was like nobody played it. It was it came out in a very saturated market. Decipher was making the Lord of the Rings game at the time. That was still very big when they put out second edition Trek. There was a lot going on. I mean, I think the World of Warcraft TCG had just come out or was about to come out or something along those lines. Like there was a ton of stiff competition for that game. And it's a shame because I thought mechanically it was so much better than the original. Yeah, Andrew, it's impossible to like pick up Twitter and not have seen that in the last few hours. I have thought. Oh, excellent. Okay, so that's Maul number 2, one of the better, again, like Wrecker, one of the better regular rares in the set. I pulled one of these in my second pre-release, and hilariously, don't crucify me, I didn't play it. That's the pre-release where I played Bosk. I did something unusual for that pre-release. I did something that I almost kind of wish I had filmed it. I had good enough pulls in that particular pre-release that I probably could have built villain yellow-green, and also as well as the villain red-yellow that I actually played. Because I had a Forlom, I had a Jango Fett, I had a Chrysanthemum, I had pulled Bosk as a leader, I had Hondo Ohnaka as possible leaders, and I had a Maul. And it was kind of like, oh man, like I ended up playing villain red-yellow, but I could have played villain green-yellow and probably been okay. So here's that Lando I was talking about. I'll show you guys the art here. Hold on. So like it's that Donald Glover outfit, right? I know the camera's not going to focus very well on it because of how I have it zoomed in, but it's that goofy that cape and everything that he wore in the Solo film. Hyperfoil Zori Bliss. So I have now a regular, a foil, and a hyperfoil. Another tech. Get rid of you. I think until Fantasy Flight figures out their sorting problems with this game, probably one of the best things you can do if you're buying boxes is to buy them in small amounts and spread the love around. Don't go to one place and buy a case. Buy a box or two from one local shop and a box or two from another local, or order a box online or whatever, because it just feels like I've seen too many instances of like, hey, I bought a case, and these guys open the case and they get 3 boxes that are like not only just identical legendaries, but almost identical rares. And that just feels terrible when you're like, you don't want to see that. My boy Django, double rare pack, a foil Dr. Pershing. Django, one of the better regular rares in the set. I think I now have about 5 of that guy. I even pulled one out of the new weekly play packs, because Django's even one of the cards in there you can get. Excellent. Swoop Down. That's a rare I'm going to need several of because I really like the mechanics on that card. A Hyperspace Street Gang Recruiter. Still love another showcase, but alas, not today. Not that pack anyway. Another Hyperspace base. Let's see, what do we got in here? Ooh, Hyperspace Jabba's Rancor. Oh, there's another legendary. That's an Evacuate. So I now have 3 out of this box. Already, we're just barely to the half mark. Ooh, it'd be nice if there was an extra in here. I'd love a 4 legendary box. That'd make me so happy. That would make me so happy. I've already pulled 2. There's a goofy double. Oh, there's my first regular Jabba. Good to see that. There's a double yellow legendary event. I think it's called like Final Showdown or something. I've already pulled 2 of those in just pre-releases, and it's like, ugh. Hyperspace Outlaw Corona. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's gonna be big news for definitely a couple of days, like unquestionably. More hyperspaces. We've got Hondo and a base. Foundling. Armed to the Teeth. 4 hyperspace cards in this pack. Mystic Reflection for the rare. 4 hyperspace cards. The leader, the base, one of the commons, and one of the uncommons were all hyperspace cards. That's a lot. 4 in 1 pack is a lot. I would have preferred that uncommon to have been a legendary. Like that silencer I got earlier. Hyperfoil Reputable Hunter. I'll get it right. It's another stolen land speeder. Nothing else. Nothing else. Legal Authority. Another one of those cards that's going to end up being a dime rare because you get them in the booster. I mean, you get them in the starter decks too. At least this time they're not major characters. I was so kind of ticked they did that with Han. In the Luke starter, one of the rares you can get in the Luke starter is Han Solo himself. Now, Han is an amazing rare. Like the card mechanically is really strong, but like he's not worth a whole lot just because of how easy he is to get. Kylo Ren leader. Looking forward to playing this guy. Got one of those already, but I'm not going to turn that down. Cosca Reeves. I need some of those because I am going to build Hero Mando at some point. I think that's the first one of those I've pulled. One of the nice things about only opening a few boxes like this is that I may be able to trade some of my old set 1 stuff that's kind of sitting around gathering dust, because I've got a fair chunk of spare rares and stuff for some new things. We shall see. Hyperspace Gar Saxon. Kira Unit. Foil Rose. Okay. Only got about 6 or 8. Looks like I got about 6 packs left here. Still hoping for that showcase or one extra legendary out of this box. That'd be nice. Hyperfoil Kintan Intimidator. This looks like a Xanadu Blood. It is. Hyperspace New Falcon. That's pretty. Oh man, I like that one. Definitely like that. Yep. Hope springs eternal. It was so funny opening that Ray showcase last night, because ordinarily, if you guys watch, well, you guys can't have a hard time seeing it. I'll show you in a minute, right? I'll talk you through what happened last night when I opened this Ray showcase, because looking back on it, it was kind of silly. I thought, why did I do it? It's like I never do that. Why did I do it this one time? Card sleeves? No, there's no card sleeves right now. These are just cards. These are placeholders so that I know if I want to zoom in, if I want to use this view, where to put something so you can see it. They're just placeholders. Okay, so ordinarily, when I open a pack of Unlimited, they're paper, which makes them very easy to open, which I like. But I open it like this, and then I take the leader and I pull it out just a bit so that I can see if it's a showcase or not. This one isn't. This is a boss, because it's a common. And then from there, I'll flip the whole pack over. Last night, though, I went and I walked up to the counter at the store, and I bought 6 packs, right? I walked over and I was like, okay. They were doing limit 6. So I said, just give me 6. So I bought my 6. I walked back to the table. And I sat down across from the guy that I had just finished playing, my buddy Trey. And we were talking. We were engaged in this conversation. And so I didn't even look down. I just opened the pack and I did this, just like I'm looking at in the camera like you. And then I got the pack all the way to here. Oh, hang on. I got the pack all the way to here, and then I looked down. And literally the first thing I said was, son of a bitch. Because there was a showcase staring back at me, and I hadn't even gone through my little ritual of trying to figure out, the peek around the corner method, right? Okay, so we did get an extra legendary in this box. It's a hyperspace legendary. It's another second chance. Not a card. I think that card has a lot of potential. Double blue is just not an aspect I have spent a ton of time looking at. I remember thinking about trying double blue Krennic when the game first came out, and I've just never kind of really gone back to mess with it. Evidence of the crime. Still looking for the pose. So far, no pose and only one dragon. Makes me very sad, but I've got the playset I need of the enforcers. That basically means that I can build one of the first decks that I really want to build. Stats? Holy crap, stats. Damn, boy. Wow. How you doing? Goodness gracious. Thank you for the shout out. Make sure we get that in. Definitely follow. Of course, if you're coming over from a raid, you should already follow stats. Like, come on. We all know that's a thing. Give in to your anger. All right, we're down to the last pack here, so we're almost done. Cards, that's right, stats. That's right. So I did a box opening for this game back in March. I opened 4 boxes here on stream. New set came out yesterday, Friday, here in the States. And I'm opening 3 boxes tonight just to kind of get myself started. I've been working on nope, Sag, no showcase. I've been working on my tournament streaming setup. I did a live stream of a store showdown over nearby here at one of the local stores. Truth be told, I have much bigger ambitions for that. I very much have been looking at how to gear that up, to take that equipment on the road, to load it, what I would need, how to do it, how to transport it so that I can start covering bigger and bigger events all over the country. In theory, all over the world, but realistically, let's start in the US, right? The trick is that I've got a little bit of work to do. I've got a non-zero amount of gear to come up with before that happens. So that's kind of poetic. The first rare that we opened tonight was Maz Kanata, and now the last rare that we opened tonight is Maz Kanata. That's a nice bookend to things. Yeah, stats, I've watched some people try to do it. I'm gonna sound like such an arrogant ass, right? One of the big focuses that I had right back when we started streaming tournament content with boats, right, with warships, was I kept looking at it going, we can do this better, right? I watched what was happening at the time, and the reason I started, put my feet into that water was like, we can do this better. right now I'm looking at what's going on going, well, nobody's really doing it. And I've got now, 5-6 years of experience doing it for this format. If I can come up with my own kind of system methodology and everything, like technologically in OBS to do it, great. And I've pretty much already done that, right? I've more or less solved that problem. Well, not really stats, and I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you why in a minute. The trick now is trying to figure out how to take that kind of a setup and make it mobile, right? That's not so easy, right? The Stream PC, here, I'll pull the wide view up. The Stream PC is right here, right? This is a mini ITX box that I built about 2 or 3 years ago, specifically for this room. This is Oscar, and the table is Felix. But I had a lot of quirks building, cramming a streaming box onto a mini ITX board. Turns out there aren't enough PCIe slots. Don't ask me how I got around that. It was a mess. But what I want to do to take this kind of a setup on the road means I need to basically design and build something that can go in a portable rack mount. Well, that's not that difficult, but it's more money, right? It's more things more money I have to spend, right? More hardware I have to buy, and so on and so on and so on. And so it's kind of like, I've actually started building a list of the things that I need, trying to get my arms around, okay, if I'm going to try and take this portable, what do I need for a budget? Now, to get to your point about hand cameras, one of the beautiful parts of this game, and if you're curious, you can look on my channel and see a little of this in some of the other videos, because I'm shooting top down, and most people play, here, let me give you the top down view. Most people will play like this, right? The angle's not perfect, but because from here, you're not showing anything to your opponent, but to the guys casting, looking straight down over the top of the table, I can actually see exactly what's in their hand. And we can talk about what's in their hand, right? And the beauty of that is that we can talk about it without revealing anything to the guy on the other side of the table, right? Which is nice. So yeah, this has been good. This was awesome. I had a good time, and we got some pretty good pulls. I'm super excited that I can build the Kylo Ren deck I want to build. That's absolutely 100% the first deck that I want to build, and I have the only legendary I really needed for that was three of the TIE silencers, and we got them. Mr. President, we got him. So I'm excited for that. Very, very excited. If I end up with more boxes, I'll probably do this again. Right now, it's a question if I'm going to end up with more. I just don't know right now. I just don't know. It's too early to figure out if I'm going to end up with more boxes. There's another local store that I thought about going over to and seeing if they had anything, but I haven't stopped to do it yet. And of course, the hurricane this week threw everything into a bit of a mess. Whole lot of places barely got open this week. It's been a weird week to live in Houston, let me tell you. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, it's going to end up being a short stream, but like mission accomplished. We got done what we wanted to get done. I got my 3 boxes open. I'm going to sort through this mess. We're going to start building decks. Probably the next time you see me in here on the table with Star Wars Unlimited is going to be back doing more actual gameplay. Okay, Xanda, have a peek. Let me know. I've been talking. You guys have, if you've been here for some of the streams where we've been playing here in the studio. My buddy Matt has come in a couple of nights and we were just messing around. Some of that for me was proof of concept. You know, I had streamed at the store. I hadn't streamed in here. I wanted to make sure it all worked. It worked fine. That's good. The overlays worked. The cameras worked. I thought everything was great. I'm not happy with the quality of my overhead camera, but that's a problem I have to solve. From an OBS standpoint, it all worked fine. And then I've been talking to some other people locally that I've been basically said, hey, I want different people to come in. Build whatever jank you want to play. Bring it on over. Let's play on camera. I'll build some jank. You build some jank. Let's just smash some games out and just get into the habit. I've actually had people tell me, they're like, I want to play on camera so that if it happens to me again in the future, I'm not like nervous. And I'm kind of like, that's fair. I think sometimes as a streamer, I forget that some people are very nervous, like on camera, talking to cameras. I've done this so much, it doesn't bother me in the least. I don't even bat an eyelash. I'm just like, whatever. Talking to one of the guys at office one day, he's like, he goes, most people when they talk to the monitor. He goes, you talk to the lens. I said, yeah, that's what you want to do, right? If I'm talking to the lens, If we were across the table, I'd be looking at your eyeballs. This is the best that I can do. And he goes, most people don't think about that. I was like, most people haven't spent as much time on camera as I have. And he kind of did one of these because a whole lot of people at work don't know what I do for a side gig. Which I thought was really, really funny. Need more water. Oh. But yeah, this has been good. This was awesome. And those are old. I'll get over there. Oh. Geriatrics, I appreciate that. Board game, card game, same thing. There's not a TCG category on Twitch, right? So you do what you can, right? You do what you can. I will say that, I've done a ton of work in here to get prepped. I've been kind of gravitating more towards the TCG stuff. I've not forgotten the board game stuff. One of my goals over the course of the month is I want to do some more painting streams, and I want to actually get a proper episode done of the show that I want to do for board gaming, so that I can show you guys the vision I have in my head. It's not complicated, right? It's not complicated, but I want to do more of it, and I want to start small. I want to do 2 or 3 of just 2-player games. Focus on this end, get it right, do it correct, and have some fun with it. And then eventually expand out to the 4-player setup. Because the camera setup, the equipment I bought, the hardware I invested in was always meant for 4 players around this table, me streaming the live gameplay. That was always the intent. And I've got a lot of games up here that would be really fun and really entertaining for that. Nemesis, for example, would be absolutely hilarious because it's basically Alien the board game with like a trader mechanic built in. The trick is you got to find the people who have the right mindset, because some people don't like trader games. They take it super personal. Super personal. So you've got to find the right people to play the game who will still be friends with you afterwards. Not everybody can play games with trader mechanics and still be friends afterwards. But I've definitely got tons of more painting to do. I was thinking about Sea of Legends the other day. I've got a lot of painting to do there. And that painting would be really simple to do on stream. I need to spend a little time working on it. I've got so much to do in here, and just my job is so irritating. I have to pay for everything. I have to get up and go to work, 40, 45 hours a week. That's exhausting. Oh, Vladeshi. I wish I could we got to get you here sometime and play some of that. The trader mechanics, I love games with trader mechanics because they almost always put players in a very uncomfortable position, right? Some people take to it like a fish to water, right? They're like, I could totally stab everybody at this table in the back and be fine. But some people are just so uncomfortable with it. They're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Okay, Deagles, there are a number of board games in existence where the game is designed for you to be playing as a team, a cooperative team, okay? I'll give you an example. All the way on my right, you can barely catch a glimpse of a box. You guys are only seeing where it says SIS. The game's name is called Nemesis, and it's done by a Polish outfit called Awaken Realms. They do amazing board games. And yes, Munchkin is a great example, Vladeshi. Nemesis, the base idea of the game is it's a cooperative game. You awaken on this ship, you awaken from hyperspace on this derelict spaceship. It's busted. You're trying to get it back to Earth. Sound familiar? Like a movie plot you might have heard of. And as you explore the ship, you start to discover, oh crap, there's an alien infestation on the ship. So what's supposed to happen is that you work as a team, the 4 players, up to 4 players, I think, 4 or 5, work as a team to get the ship moving, hopefully not die, possibly exterminate the aliens, but at a minimum, survive the whole experience, right? And you're supposed to work as a team and help each other out. However, there is a mode in the game where you are given different agendas, and you have to choose one. Some of those agendas, this is a voluntary mode. You can play the game without doing it this way, but you will get an agenda that your winning condition, in order for you to win the game, your win condition is player 2 has to die, or player 4 must become infested by an alien, or whatever, right? And so your win condition is that another player has to lose. But you can't just be obvious about it, right? You have to be subtle about it. They could be begging for help. Oh, I'm getting chased, help me. And you're like, oh no, and then you play a card out of your hand and accidentally the door in front of you slams shut. I can't get to you, whatever, right? And so that's an example of a traitor mechanic. It's perhaps a weak example, but it's the kind of thing that we're talking about. And so some board game players do okay with it. Some board game players take that kind of thing, like they take it like betrayal. They take it very, very personally. And so I've learned over the years that there's a people with a certain mindset that you can enjoy those games with, and some people you just play the straight co-op version and you leave the traitor mechanics in the box. You just don't even bring them out. You're just like, nope, for this group, this mechanic is not a thing. Vladeshi, reasonable, right? Monopoly is a good example of a game that's very backstabby, right? Munchkin is another good example. Do I have anything else out here that's got a mechanic like that? Nemesis 100% does. Oh, the Battlestar Galactica board game. I have a copy somewhere. It's down here. It's behind something. The Battlestar Galactica board game that Fantasy Flight put out, oh gosh, it's been almost 20 years now, I think. You play cooperatively. Everybody on the crew, you take the role of a member of the crew of Battlestar Galactica, right? So you're Adama or Rosalind or Colonel Ty or Starbuck or Apollo or whatever. And you're playing that character. But when the game begins, everybody is dealt a card. You're not allowed to show that card to other players. And what that card tells you is whether you're a Cylon or not. Because somebody, and every game you play, guaranteed at least one person at the table, regardless of how many players, at least one is a Cylon. So somebody out there is trying to make sure that you fail, but has to be subtle about it, can't hopefully not be obvious about it until the moment is right. There is a mechanic where at one point in the game you can just reveal yourself, like bam, yep, I'm the Cylon, LOL, what are you gonna do, right? But until then, you have to play very, very, cautiously. The only time we've played that game at the table, we had 5 friends. So it's best as a 6-player game. Grant, that is a great way to think about it. Among Us, the board game. 6 people around a table. You guys have seen Ginger, my wife, right? You know Ginger. She is the closest thing to a paladin you can envision, right? Like there's not a mean-spirited bone in her body. She's not really capable of lying or deceit. And she ended up as the only Cylon at the table. And she didn't know what to do. She wasn't the only one at the time. There was one other Cylon. So as we got deeper in the game, the other Cylon at the table kind of revealed himself. Like, okay, well, I'm trying. And it was just like, he kept getting stymied. And he was like, he's looking at the other 5 people at the table and goes, one of you is a Cylon. Who is screwing me? And it was because Ginger, she didn't know. She couldn't do it. She didn't know how. I felt bad for her. She was actually legit mad when the game was over. She was angry. She was like, I didn't want this. I wanted to be, Rosalind. I wanted to be the president of the colonies and helping us survive and everything. And I got dealt the card that says, LOL, you're a Cylon. And I didn't know and she's like, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what I was doing. And we're all like, oh, okay. I felt bad for her. I felt so bad. She's upstairs with her headphones on, probably, Zen. It's fine. I'm not telling you anything that I haven't said to her, right? She's heard it all before. But it was really funny. Oh, I found it funny. She did not find it funny. She was very, very unamused by the whole experience. Anyway. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to hang it up. I got done exactly what I wanted to get done. I came in, we opened some boxes, we talked about Unlimited. I am going to do some deck building. I want to be doing some more YouTube content on this game. I got to think about what I want to do. I don't want to do how to play videos. There's, if you've looked for how to play Star Wars Unlimited on YouTube, you've already probably found Rodney Smith, and he does it way better than I ever could. And if you ever want to find that video and you can't, just tag me on Discord and I'll send you a link straight to it. And if you like board games, you should probably be following Rodney Smith anyway. Watch It Played is one of the best board game channels in existence, and Rodney is a treasure to that community. And I love him and everything he does. But I've got some deck ideas rolling around in my head, and I think one of the things that I want to do at some point is go back and take the new card pool and look at some of the set 1 leaders that got a little overlooked, and pull them out, look at the new cards, and maybe see if we can sort of start to figure out what they might be able to achieve now that they have a bigger card pool to look through. So Evil Tree, I mean, I'll talk about it anytime you want. Come on by. I'm going to be doing more unlimited streams at some point. No worries. And I'm happy to talk about it. I have not played One Piece. I know some folks that do. But I'm too much of a sucker for Star Wars. That's my problem. If it weren't for this, if it weren't for the IP, I would never have picked this up. I would never have even gone near it. I was out of TCGs. I was out, and they pulled me back in, right? I had played Star Wars Destiny up until a few years ago, till they got rid of it. And when this was announced, I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't trust FFG, and I'm a sucker. I'm a fucking sucker, and here I am. Okay, but if it weren't for the fact that this was Star Wars, I wouldn't have picked it up. Now that it's here and I'm playing it, I'm happy to talk about it just about any time you want. So, well, thank you, Handsome. I appreciate that. That's terrifying, isn't it? It's terrifying to think about that. All right, guys, listen. Let me see. Is there somebody that I should raid? I should look around and see if there's anybody else streaming board game stuff tonight. That might be kind of fun. I don't usually get to raid people in the board game community. I've raided Bonzinator a couple of times, but I don't think she's typically around on Saturday nights. That's not generally a thing. Let's see, is there anybody I recognize over here? I recognize Defube. What is he playing? It's your... That looks like some online RPG stuff. Okay, well, what else have we got here? Anybody else I just like? Anybody else I just like I can send viewers to? Oh wow, business is streaming. Wow, there's a name I haven't seen in a long time. Goodness gracious, look at that. Wow, it's a very quiet night on Twitch, ladies and gentlemen. A very quiet night on Twitch. I see, you know what, I'll go raid Injamin. I don't get to do that very often. He's an Aussie, I think, right? Isn't he an Aussie? I feel like he's an Aussie. In a server. I don't remember. Maybe it's just Saturday night and he's just streaming. I don't know. We'll rate him anyway. Especially since you guys came over from Stats, and I know Stats was doing boats. So we will throw. Let me type this out here. I gotta make sure I spell it correctly. Okay. Come on, keyboard. Don't mess with me. Bam. There we go. Guys on Twitch, rate is up. Guys on YouTube, thank you for watching. I will see you later. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe, and I will catch you right here back on Monday night for Civilization 6. See yous. Ooh, I gotta find the right outro. We'll just do this.